Welcome back, everyone, for the next part of Limbus Company. My souls, please, the next time when you notice something like that, maybe mention it once, twice, just in case we didn't catch on to it. Because, you know, if you want us to protect the photo from the light, then maybe we should defeat the enemies before they enter the room, huh? Before they reach the staircase, preferably. Just in case they know that somebody is developing some photos in there. Oh well. Maybe we should just give him a preemptive order. Just like the photo development thing. If we just say it to him preemptively, maybe then he's just going to do it automatically. Huh? Huh? Doesn't matter if we forget the order, as long as he remembers the order. Anyways, let us continue the stories with the photos themselves. Alright then. Oh, and by the way, I got myself a Blade Lineage Ishmael. I finally had a chance to just charter, so I got her for myself. Now I can search for the whole new one to maximize my profits. It's great. Just great. Anyways, after the battle. Oh, we're still in the blue worlds. Something sits ill with me. Amidst the sprawl of Escop's backstreet distortion with a flash, Angdu had her gaze fixed somewhere, high overhead. At the end of the gazes, are those photographs? Right. I see. A long line stretches across the open air, photographs hanging from it, like laundry, clipped to a clothesline. I mistook it for a wardrobe at first, and gave it little attention. Yet upon closer look, I saw those pictures hanging from the line. Perhaps they have been strung with the dark room, and remained thus when the distortion took hold. True, but it is quite bizarre. Observation of unaffected elements in the space occupied by a location-type distortion is most irregular. Indeed, the item we bore from the studio have already changed into images of various sides of Escop itself, yet these alone remain as they are. Why are they excluded like that? Let's take them down and check them for ourselves. True. Just as I was wondering if the line was perhaps too high for me to reach, Massault, the guy, steps forward and plucks a couple of them off. And the instant that he had brought them to me, we heard another pop, and again, a bright white flash blinds my vision for a moment. I guess that cancelled it out? Perhaps? Oh, God grief, this distortion like to change its mind, huh? It keeps switching between S-Corp and N-Corp. This feels like getting caught in a flashbang detonation or something. My whole body's just tensed up. Then it goes lag right afterwards. The other sinners were busy grumbling about the distortion, and its sun jumps all the time. Except, of course, for Massault, who stood right in front of me, with the photos still held out in his hand. After all, we asked for the photos! So he delivers the photos! Oh god. And you didn't even drop them, even though you were supposed to be started. There was a flash! No, I guess he doesn't mind. He gave his usual short answer, then returned his attention to the cylinder that he had been shaking all this time. He took the film out of the container and flicked the liquid off with a clean, controlled motion. So, is the processing finally done? Wait, we're back here with the lights on now. Is it really okay to take the film out now? Yes, exposure to light will no longer damage the film once development is complete and the image is fixed. There's no cause for any further concerns. Good, well that's a relief. I couldn't say I follow all the technical details there, but no cause for concern was all that I needed to know. Signed in relief, I held up the photographs so I could take a proper look. So, do you see anything odd in there, manager? Hmm? Well, guess there are people in them. Some flowers? They wear coats in a bakery, apparently. Not entirely sure who that is. Well, the people in the photographs all look different from one another. If I had to pick one similarity between them, though, they all look cold and indifferent. Yeah, that's the city, alright. Ordinary folks that you would see pretty much anywhere. These aren't like the photographs that we picked up at the studio earlier, though. Are these the kind of photographs that they used to make canned experience of? What was that? The scenery around us seemed to be rippled just now. We glitching? I was about to ask Faust if she also felt a strange sensation, but it faded away soon enough. Perhaps it's nothing serious. Maybe you should still ask about it. That's not normal. Maybe it was just a spell of random medico or something? Is it even possible to get dizzy when I got a clock for your head? Yes, of course. No. My soul must have noticed that I was out of sort for a moment, because it seemed to pause on purpose before answering my question. No? Well, I thought you said Dokograph take these photos to put them into cans. Raw ingredients for the can experience are handled exclusively by the Grand Marquis Sisyphe. There's no known method for external parties to access them. Who? Sisyphe? What? Oh, I think I've heard about that. Canned experience, right? They're in high demands in the other districts too, but the only brand stamped on them is the Grand Magiston Sisyphe. Same name every single time. He's probably from the wing then, isn't he? Yeah, I also remember some of my classmates bragging about trying them whenever exam weeks came around. Never really had one myself though. I can't really explain it, but something about them just feel wrong. I mean, it's basically cheating, isn't it? Yeah. Guess it's that popular then. The unprocessed content of the can experience, known as the experience batter, is supplied to reprocessing factories, where the docographs fine-tune the experience details. Photographs are primarily used for that purpose. They can, fine-tune the experiences? An easy example for understanding would be to consider why the docograph take pictures of subjects, such as building. A purchaser may wish to experience living in said luxurious building that they would never or rather could never afford. Another may visit to vent out impulses of violence by experiencing the burning of a, expensive property. Demands for haute couture can experience is quite increasing by the day. So that is why the photos from earlier were all, from fancy buildings, huh? Yes, manager. Conversely, information concerning ordinary experience that can be easily encountered in reality is quite on low demand. Then why even photograph these residents at all? Perhaps these are not images harvested for the commodity value, but pure photographs in and of itself. Perhaps they have been captured for the desire to seize a vanishing instant through a lens. Maybe those are destroyed buildings or something. Memorials. So there are people who take photographs knowing that it would cost an exorbitant sum. I've seen some of them before. A staggering amount of money indeed, just to take a single photo. That is, if they could even manage to find a photograph who would take the risk and help take said photo. I'm not so crass as to put a price on sentiment or even nostalgia, but spending this much money on a film roll, huh? What could have made this investment worth it? Well, I would say maybe this isn't just a matter of sentiments at all, or memories even. Leaving through the photographs, I quietly expresses my thoughts. Executive manager? What do you say? I'm not exactly an authority on distortions, but I know they manifest through desires or emotions that become warped in a bizarre way, right? But everything that the distortion has shown us so far points back to S-Corp. That is, the S-Corp from the past that only Kim and Angdu would have seen or even remember. These photos, though, they're completely untouched by the distortion itself. Doesn't that just feel, off? Must be a strong fixation at play here, strong enough to slip past even the distortion itself. And if that obsession is something that refuses to let these memories be influenced, well, I think our next step should be to look for people in these photos. Right. These photographs are the only undistorted, unaltered clues that we have. Dante says it would be advisable to locate the people shown in these photographs. Ah, I see. Good idea. Team leader did say that we should accept the input from the LCB with open arms. After all, they can see stuff that we can't. Hey, Angdu, can you get me the office catalog, please? We will probably need to commission an office affiliation with the 7. What? Yes, please! Oh, I could always need more 7 IDs. Let's look for one that can take the request right away. Can someone tell Elsa that we are fine though? I think I know where we can find those people. Can? Dante says one of the people shown in the photos has already been found. Right. What? When? How? Well, guess I'm just having a lucky day today. This is on Rodia's side. On the shopping trip? Oh yes it is! Definitely! I pulled the radio from my waist and switched it on, without answering Elsa's question. DVLC. Huh? I think she said, do we regroup now? Clock. That one was especially hard to understand, Deryoshu. Could you maybe make it easier? No, she enjoys it. Rhodia is with you, right? Can you put her on? Yeah. Rhodia, are you there?
Huh? Oh, what? Dante! What do you want to talk about? 1 second though, I kind of went overboard with the bread and the pastries. My hands are completely full over there.
Oh, pastries? What kind of pastries?
Oh, just one of pretty much everything.
Neat! Can you grab an extra brocho and a baguette for me too? Love the ones from that street. They're very good.
Hold on. I gotta reach just the pile if I want. Oh no. Just throw them on TN. They're packaged. Yoshu, you can't treat food like that, okay? Bakeries have feelings too, How do you think the baker would feel if they know someone was treating their precious baby like trash?
Oh yeah. This scarab was rattling again for no reason. Maybe she agrees.
Anyways, Dante, can you give me a second if you need me to fight? I just need to cram these into my pockets really quickly.
Are you sure this isn't going to make it worse? You're going to squish it all up. No, wait, it's not really a fight.
Huh? Oh, then what is this about?
I took a closer look at the words writing on the wicker basket in the first photograph that Massault had brought me. Well, where's that bakery that you're at? We have to visit someone really, really quickly. And it kinda seems like she's a bit in distress. Either because the work is getting too hard, or maybe because of the person who took that photo. Anyways, the cats. No fight, huh? Right? Oh, she's already there. I know who you're looking for. The owner of the bakery was a woman, holding the same wicker basket as the one in the photograph. She took one glance at the picture that I held up for her, and gave a quick nod. This man, I think he worked in Canary 17 right next. He's quite a regular around here. He used to drop by every morning to buy sandwich to share with his co-workers. I haven't really seen him around lately though. See. And those co-workers, I assume they were wearing the same uniform as him, right? Asking the question on my behalf, Otis showed the baker another one of the photographs. Probably. He was always wearing one too. I would guess it's the cannery uniform. This confirms our lead then, executive manager. A few inquiries at the cannery should bring us closer to the information that we need. Right. Yeah, I guess you're right about that, but it's just that she doesn't seem very concerned at all. She is one of the people in the photos that weren't affected by the distortion, right? I kind of thought that she would be a close acquaintance or something. Guess not. Please, allow me to verify. Executive Manager. Do you know the name of this regular that you spoke of? His name? Am I supposed to know that? We just know each other by passing, right? Yeah. Though I wasn't expecting her to actually know his name, the apathy evidenced in her voice gave me pause. He took a photo of you. Wouldn't it be reasonable to assume that, you at the very least are well acquainted with him? Oh! That. What's up with that? The baker's demeanor changes when Otis presses the point. She gave a strange, unsettling smile before pulling something from her apron's pockets. A thin and round, can-like object. What is that about? Well, he said that he would give me 5 of these can experience for free if I just let him take a picture. Even said that he would throw in the docograph of the building of my choice as well. He docographs buildings, right? I heard he even takes work trips to the nest every now and then. So I asked him to get me a docograph of this lovely mansion that I saw by the nest suburbs. I know I never get to afford a beautiful place like that, but this way I could at least experience what it would feel like. And gosh, it was everything I would ever hope for. Even if it is fake. Guess she doesn't care. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but there was this distant airiness to the dreamy, blissful smile on the baker's face that sent a chill down my spine. Young Massault? Are these can experience truly possessed of such a marvel? To pluck all semblance of reason from one's countenance like that? They maintain high demands across the city. District 14 is only one of several markets. Oh, does that mean that those who indulge in can experience may even experience venturing on the expedition of the Great Lake and bungee jump off the summit of that skyscraper yonder as they remain totally seated as the way they are? Yes, Don. You could even experience the legend of the Fixers in person! Wouldn't that be grand? If you get even, or rather if they even ever decide to share that experience with others. And also kinda shares their better style with them, and that would put them at risk. I'm pretty sure nobody would want that. They may, however. A magic can, allowing one to pursue any dream the heart may conceive. Verily, I confess my own soul. It must be quite tempting indeed. It differs from the pursuing of a dream. Mass-produced can experience are made from base experience matter mixed with various modified informations. The resulting end products enable intense stimulation through altered memories. Therefore, it is unlike the dream as expressed by Dawn. A piece of memory refined along the numerous preceding stages of the can production line is not equivalent to a genuine experience at all, meaning the uses of experience in her previous statement must also be amended. Memories are altered from an intense simulation. It does sound kind of shady. How does this cast a shade upon the boons granted by the candle? Adventures and tales are pursued, inclined towards little grandeur, right? It is because the memories provided by the can experience are extremely vivid. Statistics had shown that users of said cans interpret them as authentic experiences, and they become dependent on them. A possible cause for the formation of dependence pattern is that can experience allow one to feel as if one has achieved a dream that is, well, in reality, impossible. Are you implying that the user are made content with devouring forged dreams stored in an instant use can? Worse still, the user may no longer strive to chase after their dreams in the waking worlds. For the sweeter and more splendid a dream is embezzled, the more impossible will it appear to be grasped with its own hand. Become a cause for surrender instead of inciting one to march forward. Verily, thou dost not annul the significance of dreaming itself, if the resulting dream rouses not the spirit to gallop towards it. True. Whether that annuls its significance, I cannot know. But they sell quite well. Of course they do, because they're becoming addicts! They're literally becoming addicts! So, how much will you be buying? Oh, she's getting angry. By what? You came barging in with all of these questions, right? And I was patient enough to answer them politely as well, wasn't I? Don't you think that you owe me a sale or two? But we already bought everything once. You're not about to just leave without buying a single loaf after crowding up my bakery and scaring off all the other customers, are you? Oh. Well, the case was on point, actually. With our whole group gathering around, the passerby gave us a wide breath and hurried on, whispering amongst himself. Nobody was about to come in and buy bread like that. At least not that many scary guys in one spot. Oh, come on, lady! I practically cleared the shelf already! Didn't I? You did? Where the hell are you keeping all of those pockets, Heathcliff? Pockets. Do you ever got an ass? 'Cause I had some already, and the rest is safely tucked in my coat pockets. We can all share them later. So you really ate some of them already, huh? Let's just buy a little more. It is true that we can't escape off the other customers. Understood. Given that the expense is made to facilitate this operation, the lack of prior budget should not pose any sort of problem. Oh, nice! Sesame rice bun for me, please. Kim? How did you... Oh, come on! It was Kim. He really did have a knack for making an entrance at the least expected moments. Hey, mister! Where have you been this whole time? Oh, wait. Huh? Be cross with me all you like, but please just give me a moment. There's a pause, waiting in puzzled anticipation. Only for Kim to take a sesame rice bun from the baker's hand and chop into it. What? Alright, ready. You're a freaking waste of rats! I guess he was punched, and Ersa's very strong. Ersa's angry fist drove straight into Kim's solar plexus, folding him to the ground like a crumbling sack of potatoes as he rolled away. At this rate, the owner might start charging us for the whole bakery next, roof and all. I guess we should better get going now. Manager? Basalt? Basalt approached me as he walked down the street, with Ersa and Kim still quabbling behind us. He was holding a roll of something brown and tightly coiled. What's that? I've completed the development of the film, per your instructions. Ah! Oh, so this is the film in that canister was shaking all the time, Do I just need to unroll it? Hold it up against the sun or other sources of light, as if it was a reversal film. The image should be visible as they are photographed. I had no idea what a reversal film means, but I did as I said and unrolled the film. Oh, I can see it! It's actually kinda cool! So, what is it showing? Can I see it too? Hey, move over a bit! Let me take a look as well! It was kind of hard to make out the details because the images were too small, but I could still tell the strip was packed with almost identical pictures. That's strange. Is this the same person in every shot? In the same pose in all of them? Oh, you're right about that. Wait a second. Do you see the arm there? The further along the strip goes, the lower it gets. Yeah, and the head looks like it's turning to the right as well. Maybe it is a film. A proper film and not just a picture. Oh! We were all squinting up at the tiny frames on the film when Sinclair suddenly flinched and went stiff, like he had seen something that he shouldn't have. A second later, all color drains out of his face. Sinclair? What's wrong? This reminds me of something that I learned at school. You draw a picture in the corner of the stacks of notes of a thick book in the exact same spot on every single page. You start with the arms down, then you make one small change on each page, nudging the arms up higher and higher until they are risen all the way up. Then you flip the pages fast enough, the drawing stops looking like separate images. The still figure is starting to move. The class was called Introduction to Motion Pictures! I remember the teacher saying that video footage that we watched are all made in the same way. Why are you getting so terrified of it? You're saying that this is it's a continued sequence of still images. The arrangement of the frame suggests that this film strip is highly likely to constitute footage. A violation of N-Corp's taboo. Meaning, having that thing in our possession is a violation itself, isn't it? Especially now, since we have developed this thing! Okay, that explains why he's getting more and more scared about it. But what is so wrong about footages like that? Do they not own surveillance cameras? I'm pretty sure I saw that in K-Corp. But then again, if they can just watch videos, they can probably no longer sell those cats. I mean, that's the reason why they're forbidding videos around there. Huh? Would definitely make sense, at the very least. Anyways. Taboo, huh? Oh yes. We are about to break a taboo. Oh my god. Wait a second. Am I going to go for the support for Honglu, or should I try to find a Blade Dynasty Sang? Oh, definitely Honglu. He gets to 40%. Alright. This is fine. Let's do this. Did I change my Ishmael for the other one? I think I did that preemptively, but now I'm not sure about it. Huh. Well, oh crap! As soon as I register Masol's word, my hand reflectively threw the film to the ground. Are we going to be okay though? We might have just broken the taboo here. My mind began to race, rapidly traveling back through our journey. Specifically to the time when Don had smashed that window at K-Corp and caused the wing to wipe out our team multiple times over. Oh, I can already feel fate. At least we had Virgilus with us then, and it ended up being not the biggest deal at the end of the day, since I could just revive the sinners. But, some Nestaboo can get us in serious trouble just for carrying anything that has to do with them. Can't they? Yes. I hurriedly turned towards the sinner, many of whom looked every bit as troubled as I felt. Still, few of them expressed a casual lack of concern, citing all the crazy things that we've gone through so far. That is also true. Miss Faust! What will happen to us if this gets the manager killed? Okay, so this is it then, huh? We're dead. Hey, come on, guys. Stop freaking out about it. They're not dying, and we'll be fine. NCORP is not going to kill you on the spot just for possessing a film roll. Really? Well, it might be a problem if the film roll does contain genuine recorded footages, but it's not like you guys had a hand in filming in the first place, right? True. When NCOPs do get here to pick it up, just comply with their commands, thank them for the service, and nicely hand it over to the authorities, and everything should be fine. I see. So they're reasonable. They're reasonable, guys. There is the possibility that everything will not be okay, though, considering that we've already fought a couple of them beforehand. Right? Eh? Oh, right! I developed the content of that film roll in the dark room. Oh, but you couldn't have known that it was a film roll. We assumed that those were just photographs, right? Can't we plead innocent for that? The court will take the lack of intentionality into consideration, of course. However, it is very likely that my actions will be deemed as aiding the primary violator of the taboo itself. Really? But Team Leader said that NCORP has their own regulator standards regarding image quality, which they use to determine the severity, right? If the footage image quality or frame rate is within regulation, then NCORP would be sizing the fixes on our butts right away, and that could buy us some time or even give our company some leverage to make a deal, however small it might be. Because what they're really sniffing around for is how close to reality the video is, or how close of an experience it provides to real life. So even if we're really, really unlucky and they actually come after us, it's going to be fine as long as the footage is low fidelity. Probably. Well. So what exactly does frame rate within regulations actually entail? That means that the interval between each frame shouldn't be like super brief. Okay. Think about photo slideshows. They only show you one image every couple of seconds, right? So it doesn't really feel real or vivid, right? You can technically call them motion pictures instead, but there's no vividness required to violate the taboo. Then let us analyze the film roll and see how vivid it really is. How many frames are in these seconds? Is it 32? Or maybe even more? If it's just 12, it should be fine, even though 12 is already quite a lot. Assault, I trust that you are knowledgeable in the subject concerning NCORP. Yes? Please cooperate. Could this film roll be considered a violation of the taboo? Otis picks up the film from the ground and shows it to Masson. That cannot be determined. Unless each frame is thoroughly analyzed and compared with the adjacent without waiting for Masson to finish, Otis unrolled the film roll and raised it against the sky. The rest of you get over here! We must analyze every single frame! The film canister was labeled Experiment, so I assumed the corporate had created this as a test run of sorts. An experiment to see how close they could get to violating the taboo, and testing the limit of the law itself. It may even be a mere collection of similar photographs that are pretending to be recorded footage. Maybe? The sinners all gather around Otis to look towards the unrolled film in unison. Here, the flower pot moved between frames. doesn't it? The dogographs couldn't possibly have moved the pot while also holding down the shutter button, right? I don't really see any sort of difference. See here? The expression rises on the subject's visage appears rather stiff as well. Maybe it's just the gloomy sort or something. Perhaps, yet observe closer. The stiffness arises not from gloom, but from strain to maintain it, because they were holding still. Oh, well if that's the case, maybe the subject really is trying to fake an actual footage by moving very, very slowly. That's a pretty convincing theory, but I'm not sure if that's enough to conclude that we are in the clear just yet. And that is when Bamboo-Headed Kim, who had been sprawling on the ground ever since Erza punched him, stepped into the conversation. Let me see. You know something? Look at the shadows cast in the windowsill. See how it is noticeably shifting between each of the frames? Whoever made this know their craft for sure, but I can't imagine a backstreet dweller would have any way to mess with the sun trajectory. I see. Then the likely scenario must be that the creator of this film roll deliberately made its subject move very slowly from frame to frame, creating a series of disconnected photos that, when played sequentially, would look like footage that could violate the taboo. In which case, this film roll does not violate the taboo itself, right? It's a fake of a fake. That is highly probable. So he says, Executive Manager. We should be in the clear for now, at least in regard to aiding the violation of the Wings taboo. That's good. But if he was willing to go through this much trouble just to test NCOP's patience, it's kind of hard to believe that he would have ever stopped. Based on all the available evidence, Executive Manager, it seems reasonable to conclude that the infection point of this case is a taboo violator on the run. True. But what motives could they have to do this? Sure, working for a Way subsidiary has nothing on being an actual Wing employee, but it is still pretty up there when it comes to careers available in the backstreets. Work for Subsarian long enough, and you might even get a chance to transfer to the factory job in a nest. It gives you a plenty okay chance at a better life as well. Maybe he was just tired of living that kind of life here. Everyone has one of those days, don't they? The sudden feeling that you could be doing something more than just live the rest of your life in a 9-to-5 hellhole. The drive to do something that takes you away from the pressure of trying to make a living every single day, every single week, in all of your years, until you're old and can finally go into retirement. Yeah, I can see that, Ishmael. Something about what Ishmael said must have ticked Bamboo-Headed Kim, because he suddenly whipped around towards her and shook his head. Maybe, but how many of those people do you think are capable of throwing away everything that they've built on a whim? From what I've seen, maybe our corporate just likes to play with fire instead. Oh? Playing with fire? Yeah, must have started by doing something that technically doesn't count as a taboo, and inches on and on until it brushes the thrilling closer and closer. One thrilling shot through this camera, and another with the next. Until eventually, he ended up recording an actual footage. Cool, then that leaves the question of, what the heck was he trying to do with that? Might have been trying to screen it, using a projector for all of this part of the backstreet to see. What? But wouldn't that make everyone here, even those who unwillingly came across the projector, a corporate as well? Yes. Right on. If it had made those folk violators of the taboo as well. But why would anyone do such a thing? So, would you care to explain to me how you would know that, Mr. Red Ring? I ask around on the opposite streets, you see. And apparently, some guy's been going around asking the workshops if they could put, or rather could make, a projector. Seems like most of them turned him down though, but they also said that he stopped showing up after a certain point as well. I'd a guess that he got his hand on a projector somewhere else. Alas, is it not a taboo of NCORP to view recorded videos though? Pray tell, why would any in the same mind do such a thing? Well, it ain't a taboo if you only made a projector, ain't it? Backstreet's block are down for anything, as long as there are coins on the table. Huh. So how exactly do we track down these guys then? Multiple individuals in the same garb as the pin frame team have just been identified in the vicinity. They are all carrying the same sort of briefcases. Oh, well, isn't that just convenient? Maybe we can play this like a festival or something, or a convention, and just tail people who look like they've involved with what we are looking for as well. So they could just lead us wherever we need to go. Indeed, at architectural conventions, there would be those in formal plaid shirts and suspenders milling about, and I could always just trust them to lead me to the conventional events, just by following them. That is true. And was it common for those plaid shirts fella to just look around like they're scanning the area? Did they also go around checking for people against photographs? Oh shoot. Collecting evidence. Please advise for... Oh, I see, they're also radioing each other. Glaring at people like they're glaring at... us, perhaps? Perhaps I could answer that series of queries yourself, after the fight. Nope, this crowd sure doesn't look like they're going to let us follow them at all. Of course not! Of course not! Why would they work together with us? They already fought us before! Why would they suddenly change? Huh? This just doesn't make sense. Why would they change? Ah, yeah. Well, it was definitely a fair attempt. I give you that. It was a good attempt. So, 2 battles in a row. Are there any more of them around here? Or can we finally, peacefully follow them? I would definitely appreciate it if we could just peacefully follow them. But apparently that's not the case. The hell? I'm still following them. I'm still forced to follow them. What are you doing? We could just work together, pal. We could just be working together. You don't need to fight like this. Oh man. Okay, one more battle ahead of us. Let's see. Let's go. Oh wait. There's a cutscene this time. They are hardly a challenge. What a waste of time. Ew, well at least they're not much of a fighter, at least one-on-one. Service to class is not a combat specialized department, but they have all undergone basic combat training for exigent circumstances. They are not well prepared for head-on conflict such as this. Then why are they fighting us in the first place? Why aren't they trying to talk to us first? They could have worked together. Peacefully! Yeah, I noticed that too. They kept taking pictures of us with their briefcases as well. I'm guessing that is their prime job description or something? What are they even snapping away for then? Whispering behind our back like a lot of creeps. Collecting photos to include in the report of their high-ups then, I would wager. I can kinda see how they could think that we got involved in this somehow. Every time they follow a lead, we do end up, encountering them. It's hardly a surprising ration if you think about it. Basalt stood a footstep away from the rest of the sinner and watched in silence as they tried to come up with an explanation. What is he thinking though? What is it that he wishes to say? Or is he simply contemplating, observing without any preconceived notion in his mind? His silence shouldn't have been any different from his usual resentment, but as though by some chance or whim. Hey, I'm Assault. I was struck by the sense of brief, yet distinct strangeness, and was compelled to speak to him. Right. Yes, manager? Please, don't hesitate to let me know if there's something that you want to say, but I'm really sure if you're supposed to say it in the first place. Yes, manager, I will do as you order, should such a circumstance occur. As always, his reply was deflatingly conceit and direct. As though he had some rule of his own that told him that this was a specific response for a situation like this. Alright, but I'm talking about right now. Now, actually. Do you have anything to say? Right now. No, I do not. Then why are you keeping distance? What are you thinking about, my swords? It did not appear to me that he was trying to hide anything or choosing his word in response to my question. His reply was simply that, an answer, and nothing more. Yes, a prepared answer written down in a list of possible responses. That is what it felt like to me, as though this particular answer had always been the only one that he had available for a situation like this. Clearly, prodding him for an answer wasn't going to get me anywhere. So, with a curt, "Sure, if you say so," I just turned away from him and took off to join the other sinners. As I did so, a few word lingers at the tip of my proverbial tongue, asking to be let out, and so I did. Would have been nice to know what you were actually looking at, though. Oh well. Of that, he spoke. I cannot form a judgment. Judgment? What? That is because the precise definition and nature of the subject of my gaze are just as unknown to me as you. Should you point to an object or an enemy, I can provide a verbal explanation based on my current knowledge. If you require such information, please rephrase the question accordingly. Had I asked him again then, had I tried to get to the bottom of that line of questioning, could I have found myself the smallest peek into my soul's psyche, which had remained entirely shrouded in mysteries even after an entire year of traveling together? I suppose that's not up for me to judge as well. Manager? Oh, yeah. Another battle is imminent. As you have previously instructed me, I have informed you of an imminent battle. Thank you, my soul. You're learning. Yo, Boss Clock! Are you just going to sit there all day while we do all the fighting around here? They're pouring out of that building over there. Building? So, they must have been on their way to that building, huh? Our path ahead seems clear. Executive Manager, let us neutralize those foes and head up there. Right. Gotcha. Be right there. The brief lull of battle came to a close, and battling enemies who arrived precisely at the time that Basalt had predicted. We made our way into the building. More of these weird photos and film rolls. Bloody hell! The blocks that we fought downstairs must have been the weak one of the bunch. How does Encov have so many guys on their payroll, huh? There's no end to them at all. It is a wing after all, right? True. Are these the taboo violators? I thought the corporate was working alone. No, I'm quite certain that they are the one from the subsequent reports. The Encop fixers seemed to appear just as confused as we were. It was clear to me that they were expecting to find a taboo violator here, not a big group of dozens of people. What were they thinking, sending fodder like us to deal with an organized taboo violation? They should have sent the Boo Hunter instead. Why do you think they told us to consume canned experience containing mass melee combat, huh? They must have thought our current manpower would suffice to deal with this. I don't know about that though. I mean, look at them. They're more than 12 there. And Ersa! Oh, Ersa's monster. Wait, wasn't that extra report as well? That one of them is, well, all of the sudden. With a click, the room began to buzz with a metallic whirl of some kind of machinery. And immediately, I could tell what it was. Oh no. It's Distortion again. Standing in the middle of the shady room was a device that I wasn't really sure I have seen before. The exterior was plastered with strange shape that looked similar to what we saw on the Junction's face in our earlier battles, making it difficult to grasp its full shape. Well, it's clearly a projector, guys. I can see that despite the cover. Huh. The round objects affixed to it began to rotate slowly, with the dull, worn-out groan of a thing past its prime. Man! Shield your eyes! You cannot watch this! This is a movie! This is clearly a violation of the taboo! The moment it began to emanate a faint ray of light, Otis thundered in a commanding voice. Gah! I quickly turned away as well, making sure not to catch even a glimpse of it.